forecast first on Color 10 News, Ozarks First.
Well, still just looking at cloudy skies across the area. And I know when you look at radar, it's like, whoa, we must have some rain or snow out there. None of this reaching the ground. In fact, you have to get back toward I-35 to actually find reports of snowfall. So we're still in that process of trying to moisten up the atmosphere. And it looks like any chance for snow will tend to hold off, I think, until after midnight. 41 right now. We'll have that chance for some light snow showers after midnight. Still some lingering flurries maybe through 7 o'clock. After that, mostly cloudy skies for the morning with clouds thinning out during the afternoon hours. And notice those numbers. They don't get very warm, do they? It looks like a high tomorrow in the mid-30s, and a very cold night will follow. But the next storm that comes into the area over the weekend, it's not going to bring wintry weather, but wet weather. I'll have more on that coming up. Color 10 News at 10 starts now.
Now, from Ozarks First, you're watching Color 10 News at 10.
Up first here at 10, incredible video of this deadly house fire in Republic tonight.
You just heard an explosion inside a mobile home that went up in flames. Color 10 viewer Abby Davis was there tonight and sent us this video.
We want to share with you another video that was sent to us of this fire from Canyon Derringer. You see it right here. This happened at the Alpine Mobile Home Park in Republic. That's right off of Highway 60.
One man did escape the deadly fire. Color 10's Jesse Inman spoke to a neighbor who saved him. He's live on the scene with the story for us tonight.
Yeah, guys, like you said, right here at the Alpine Village Mobile Home Park, just off of Highway 60, right as you get into Republic. Now, as you said, one woman did lose her life in this fire tonight. It's just on the other side of this fire truck behind me here. And now this fire actually was originally called in as a fire that started on the porch, but once fire crews arrived, they came up onto this mobile home that was fully engulfed in flames, the entire double wide on fire. And an elderly couple was home at the time that fire started. The husband able to make it out in time, the wife unable to do so. Now, Chief Ken Wilson with the Brookline Fire Department says that the house had multiple oxygen tanks inside that caused a couple of pretty big explosions here that could be felt in the nearby area. People that I've spoken to have certainly confirmed that. Spoke to a man who has a pretty dramatic story here. He says that he went into the house and helped that elderly man get out, but when he went back in to find the woman, he saw those oxygen tanks lying around and said that, well, he knew he needed to get out, and he was able to just in time.
Her husband was out here by his truck trying to honk the horn, and when I stopped and asked if anybody else was in the house, he tried running back inside and then passed out. So then I got him in my car and I moved my car, and then he said something about his wife, so I tried going back in twice and I couldn't find anybody, and then I seen the oxygen tanks and I knew I had to get away.
All I can say is Sue was a great lady. She Christian lady. We were just reading the daily verses yesterday together, and she gave her whole life to feed and catch, spend her whole Social Security check just to take care of the animals in the trailer park.
Now, that first man you heard from there said that when he got out and was able to move the male's truck out of the driveway, said it was just a few short minutes from the time that the house actually exploded, and he said that he could feel it right there kind of in his chest. That's how he described it. Now, there were about 50 firefighters on scene here from different crews around the area, including Republic, Brookline, Bodark, and Willard. This is under investigation. No suspicious activity that's suspected was the cause of this fire. They don't know yet, but it is under investigation by the Greene County Sheriff's Office. The man who escaped is expected to be okay. In Republic, Jesse Inman, Ozarks First.
All right, Jesse, thanks for the update. Another woman is dead. 2 children are seriously injured after a train hit their car near Purdy, Missouri. Troopers say the driver failed to yield at a railroad crossing there. The deputy coroner pronounced 59-year-old Francisca Perez Salas dead at the scene. The 2 children injured in the crash are her grandchildren. They were airlifted to Cox South Hospital in Springfield. This is Troop D's 13th fatality of 2020.
Well, the Springfield area is mourning tonight the loss of a longtime community community leader.
Dr. Robert Spence, a former president of Evangel University, died this morning after suffering a stroke just a few days ago.
KOLR 10's Madison Heaver is covering the outpouring of mourning. She's live outside Evangel, where Spence, of course, served more than 40 years. Madison, Dr. Spence was a beloved part of this community. He had a deep legacy at Evangel and really all across Springfield.
Yeah, David, many local leaders issue statements today mourning and respecting Dr. Spence. And Evangel today actually lowered their flag to half-staff to honor their longtime leader.
This community has suffered a great loss today, and we will remember him with pride, but we're sad.
The impact that he has had on generations of lives over that long term of service is unmatched.
Dr. Robert Spence, a longtime servant of the Springfield community and retired president of Evangel University, died after suffering a stroke.
I got the call this morning from his son that he's now safely home. We immediately lowered the flag to half-mast.
Spence served on numerous boards and committees in Springfield, like the Springfield-Branson National Airport Board, City Utilities, and also Cox Health.
He believed deeply and lived it that you also serve the community where you live. I mean, I think it would be hard-pressed to name some area of city service where you wouldn't find his fingerprints today.
When you see all of the variety of things that he did over a long period of time, it's really remarkable. You just don't see that very often.
As a result of Spence's dedication to serving the city, he was awarded the key to the city of Springfield by Mayor McClure just last week.
That exactly a week ago, he was being presented by Mayor McClure the key to the city of Springfield. My first thought was, this morning he got another set of keys to a much bigger kingdom.
And I think when we gave him the key to the city last week, and that timing was so fortuitous.
When asked how Spence will be remembered,
he was an extraordinary model of a life of faith, integrity, love, grace, kindness, generosity, humility. That would just be the beginning of the list.
He epitomized that. The best leader is the one that seeks to serve others without taking or getting credit for that. That was Bob Spence.
And I actually think the best way we honor him is to ensure that the life he lived is now continued on in the way we serve and live our lives.
Now, they actually just raised the flag from half-staff, but the family will be holding a memorial for Dr. Spence on this Sunday afternoon in the chapel he was named after. In Springfield, Madison Heaver, Ozarks First.
A woman's body was found stuffed in a duffel bag on a county road today. This was just outside of Fawcett, Missouri, which is just north of Kansas City. A transportation worker saw the bag in a ditch and called authorities. The woman is believed to be between 40 and 55 years old. A cause of death has not been determined. And keeping crime in focus, a retired priest who served at several churches in southern Missouri was arrested for sexual abuse crimes today at his home in Springfield.
76-year-old Frederick Lutz is facing 4 sexual abuse charges tonight. These stem from his time as a priest in Advance, Missouri. He's charged with forcible sodomy, felony sexual abuse, and also 2 counts of second-degree statutory sodomy.
These accusations were alleged to have happened in January of 2000. According to the probable cause statement, a 17-year-old landscaper at Lutz's church was summoned to the priest's room on church grounds where Lutz was watching, allegedly, a pornographic movie. The teen claimed Lutz blocked his exit and forced him to give and receive oral sex from the priest. During the investigation, authorities learned of another sexual abuse incident that involved a 17-year-old in Cape Girardeau in 1972, just 1 year before he started working as an associate pastor at Holy Trinity Parish in Springfield. There are no charges from that incident yet, but Stoddard County Prosecutor Russ Oliver encourages any other victims to come forward.
We want to hear your story, regardless of the length of time that has went by, even decades of time. We are still interested in pursuing justice on your behalf and to see that this wrong is righted.
So, you know, Lutz retired in 2011, has been living in Springfield. After his arrest this morning, he was taken back to the Stoddard County Jail in southeast Missouri.
3 people in St. Charles, Missouri are facing criminal charges after an 11-year-old girl gave birth in a bathtub. The 3 people are relatives of the girl. We only know who 2 of them are. 17-year-old Norvin L. Lopez Cante was charged for repeatedly raping the 11-year-old approximately 100 times. Lesbia Kante and another man are charged with child endangerment. The investigation started after one of the relatives brought the baby to the hospital with the umbilical cord and placenta still attached. The baby had a body temperature of just 90 degrees.
Well, we heard the first testimony today in a federal civil lawsuit involving a highway patrol investigator. Brad Jennings of Buffalo is suing Sergeant Dan Nash for allegedly suppressing evidence in a murder investigation. Jennings, you'll recall, served 10 years for the death of his wife Lisa before a judge set aside that conviction in 2018 because of evidence that showed Jennings didn't fire a gun the night his wife died. Jennings and his attorneys allege that Nash willfully withheld that evidence. Today, the court heard from a crime scene investigator who said ultimately it would have been Dan Nash's responsibility to turn over the evidence in question. Now, the state's going to call 5 to 6 witnesses to defend Sergeant Nash when the plaintiffs complete their witness list. The judge expects the jury to begin deliberations perhaps late Monday or Tuesday morning.
Turning to weather, we could see a little snow on the ground when we wake up in the morning. Jamie, you're saying that the big story, though, is going to be the cold.
Yeah, it looks like it's only going to be a little bit of snow, and that's just going to be in places. The cold will be the bigger story, and it's going to set us up for a cold finish to the work week. But I've got some better news as we head into the weekend, at least for the front end of the weekend. More on that after this break.
You're watching Color 10 News. Ozarks First with David Oliver, Heather Lewis. Weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner. And sports with Dan Lucy. This is Color 10 News at 10. Now, weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
Outside right now, just cloudy skies. It's not even terribly cold outside, 41 degrees. So we've got some work to do before we can see some snow in our area. Now, right now, you can see on radar, it looks like we've got precipitation all over southwest and southern Missouri, but that is not the case. It's not that it's not out there, it's that it's not reaching the surface because of that dry, low-level air. I should have pointed that out. Right now, we're sitting at 41. Our dew point is 21 degrees. So that's a pretty wide spread, and that's representative of that dry layer of air close to the surface. Now, checking the observations, we're getting snow reports now out of Olathe, Kansas. We're also getting snow reports out of Emporia, Kansas. But again, that's pretty far west. There's quite a bit of precipitation east of there and has been. So it's still working on the atmosphere, trying to overcome that dry layer of air. And this is sort of a complicated scenario. It's a two-part system. This is the weaker part of the system, this upper-level storm coming out of Colorado. We've got a developing surface low southwest of Houston and quite a bit of wet weather across northern Texas, east along I-20 into Mississippi and Alabama. This is really what's going to take over and move east-northeast into the Carolinas and generate some snow across parts of the Deep South, including Tennessee, maybe northern areas of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and then into the Carolinas. For us locally, we've got, again, a shot at a little bit of light snow overnight tonight. I talked about how that snow is sort of trying to battle that dry air currently. It looks like it should overcome that dry air, but that's not going to happen until after midnight. And even then, I think what we're looking at is just light snow showers across much of southwest Missouri that will build south and southeast into northern areas of Arkansas later on tonight. And it looks like by 7 o'clock in the morning, some lingering flurries and cloudy skies, and then we're kicking the precipitation out. We'll be kicking the cloud cover out, I think, as we get into the afternoon. So after a cloudy start to the day, looking at a mostly sunny finish to the day. In terms of snow risks, really hasn't changed very much. I've expanded it a little bit further east, but it still looks like southwest Missouri and in north central Arkansas, northeast Arkansas. That's where we have a shot at probably a dusting, but there could be maybe a few spots that see maybe as much as a half an inch. But I want to stress this is not going to be a major impact player for your day tomorrow. The cold will be, because we'll start off at 27, and it looks like we're only going to end up with a high of about 36, with wind chills remaining below freezing throughout the afternoon hours. Areas to the north, it's going to be a struggle just to get above freezing during the afternoon, with highs down to the south near 40. And again, winds will be breezy out of the north-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now, for some good news, looks like a bright finish to the week with sunny skies on Friday, and we're going to hold on to that into Saturday. It looks like this next storm is going to be slow enough so that much of Saturday looks pretty sunny. I do expect high clouds to be on the increase, though, by mid to late afternoon, but I think there will be enough sunshine for temperatures to get into the low 50s. Sunday is going to be the day that you'll want to stay inside. In fact, if you've got some errands to run, maybe going to the grocery store, I think Saturday is the day to do that, because you're probably not going to want to get out in that wet weather. It's going to stay chilly, too, with a fairly steady rain throughout the day on Sunday that will continue into Sunday night before tapering off early Monday. That will come with temperatures that will be stuck in the low to mid 40s on Sunday after that milder day on Saturday. Chilly weather into early next week, and it looks like we could see another wave of cold that may stick around a little bit longer starting Wednesday, and it looks like it may hang around through the end of the week. We could see lows back in the teens again.
You know, whenever you talk about snow in the forecast, all the kids watching the news are always like, please, snow day.
Probably not
this
tomorrow.
This is not probably going to have school tomorrow.
This is not the one to bank on.
That's right. That's right.
What's our viewers club number?
Number tonight, 164-571, and our jackpot is $1,300.
Jamie, thanks.
I couldn't pick up my ink pen, my papers.
A new treatment that can potentially eliminate aggressive surgery. How it's already changing lives. Up next.
A new treatment that can potentially eliminate aggressive surgery has come to Springfield. Our Francis Lynn tells us tonight about a burned victim who's currently using Mercy Hospital's new laser treatment therapy. A warning, to be fair, some of the images you're about to see of her burns may be graphic for some viewers.
After an explosion severely burned Diana Reeves' hands and legs a couple of years ago, this machine is what's giving her her mobility back, not to mention drastically improving how the scars are looking.
I couldn't pick up my ink pen, my papers, everything that I picked up I would drop. It was very frustrating.
Reeves was injured in a laundromat explosion.
I was doing laundry in a laundromat. I had gone in earlier in the day and put it into wash, and when I came back to put it in the dryer, I started the dryer that I had put the clothes in, and as I turned to walk out, the dryer next to it blew up.
After the initial treatment, a nurse told her about this new laser therapy at the hospital.
She asked me if there was something I could do about the way it looks and the way, my range of motion was affected quite a bit in my hands. If I could do something about it, would I? And I was like, well, yes.
We have two different types of lasers. They both work. They're both using light. The first laser that we have is a CO2 fractional laser. We use a CO2, and then once we get the scar tissue softened, we're able to use that to help with the hyperpigmentation of the scars.
Reeves is already in the second phase, but Dr. Kaza shows us what the CO2 laser does.
If you picture a picket fence, and then that's your normal nice collagen all in a row, and then you have a 5-year-old come destroy it and then try to rebuild it, it's all misaligned, and that's kind of what the scar tissue looks like. Then you go back using the CO2 and you drill little holes in it to try to reorganize the pickets. The other one is the IPL light. It's an intense pulse light laser, so it actually just changes the color of the scar tissue.
To me, it's pretty painful, but it's worth it.
The technology can be used for any type of scarring, regardless of how old it is.
We have people returning that have had injuries from decades ago.
And Reeves says she's happy she decided to go through with it.
Fabulous. They look great and they feel great, and I have what I feel like is 100% of my range of motion back.
And we were also told by Dr. Costa that most medical insurance would cover all the treatment costs.
What I'm trying to do today and what I'm trying to do tomorrow and what I'm trying to do with this next pitch, that's what I'm focused on right now.
Wayno's ready to go.
Our Dan Lucy has more from spring training and Bears basketball highlights next.
Proof tomorrow that it's still winter, huh?
Yeah, a cold day tomorrow after getting close to 50 for a high today. It looks like highs in the 30s tomorrow. That's going to come with, as you might expect, a cold night Thursday night. A morning low of 16 with sunshine and a high of 42 on Friday. Getting into the weekend, as I said earlier, if you want to be outside, maybe getting that yard ready for springtime, Saturday is the day to do it because Sunday looks wet.
Okay, a lot of people going to be at that chili cook-off on Saturday, too.
Yes.
It's indoors, so you don't have to worry about anything. Thanks for joining us here at 10. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Good night, folks.